Buenas tardes. Good evening. I'm very pleased to be here, and I would like to thank Thomas Michel and Pere Malgras for kindly inviting me for this fantastic forum, Iwater in Barcelona. So I invite you for a visit to Lisboa, between Paris and Barcelona. You are coming a little bit southern Europe, and I will be delighted to share with you some of the things we are doing in my city to deal with resilience. Since I am an hydraulic engineer, I'm looking more for the green and blue colors of the city, systems dealing with the blue and green. And what you see really here in these two pictures are the Saldana Square. In fact, Saldana was an antecedent of mine. In the upper, you see what is still now, and on the lower one, you will see what will be in fact 1 year. And the mayor is doing a great job to transform this city. So, as a few topics in these short minutes, I will show you how the city is committed with resilience, how we are paving the way to become a more water-wise city in the concept of IWA that I like very much, what we are doing in terms of climate adaptation strategy, where the green strategy is very important, but of course we need also to cope with the old-fashioned tunnels, to cope with flooding in the lower part of the city. And I will end with final remarks that in fact is an invitation for all of you. So Lisboa at the high level, at the political level, is really very committed with resilience. This is shown by the number of forums and commitments that Lisboa is involved in. 100 resilient cities. Lisboa is also one example, one case study of the OCDE on cities and governance, is part of UN Habitat, is following closely the joint PI Urban Europe. Also, Lisboa is implementing the so-called climate adaptation local, is part of ICLEI, working very deeply with the local government for sustainability. Lisboa also was one of the initial cities to sign the Covenant of Mayors, and is participating in some exercises under the United Nations Office of Disaster Risk Reduction. So all these are initiatives where the city at the high level is committed to. Also, I do believe that the city is becoming more and more water-wise in the concept of IWA, where you have in concentric circles, first of all, the water in the city, so how to regenerate water services in the city, dealing with water. In a second circle, you have the link with water and urban planning, water and other infrastructures, and resilience is really a compromise. It's a cross-cutting issue with water, but other systems as well. But you have to deal in a city also with the territory that are around the city, the basin. So you have also to connect, when you deal with water, you have to connect with the whole basin. And of course, and this is, has been talked this morning very much, we need to involve the communities in all these discussions, to sensibilize, but also make them part of the discussion and the decision process. So co-construct, co-build is also a new word. And I do believe that the number of projects, the number of competitive projects where Lisboa is now involved is really a very good example on how we are so engaged and so committed to being really a more water-wise city. So all these are very, very recent projects. and some of them with Barcelona and with Aquatech, like Rescue, Bingo, sharing cities. But when we speak about resilience and climate adaptation, we speak about heat island effect, and this is a concern of our mayor. We deal with urban flooding, how to cope with urban flooding, how to prevent, how to do it in advance to avoid it, and also we have to cope with more frequent droughts. All these are part of our concerns in Lisboa. And the green infrastructures, the green strategy is an important part of it. In fact, we have been doing a lot in Lisboa in terms of increasing new green areas and also renovating old areas, some ones very degraded that are now being very pleasant places. So building new landscapes or transforming old and dirty places in new green areas are something that is really happening, really on our side. And this with a living city every day. You have some pictures here inside the city where you have the before and the after. So we can already show a good transformation in the last 8-10 years. Of course, also we speak today very much on nature-based solutions that are solutions very much on the surface that infiltrate water and contains water instead of running water very close to the ground tunnels or ground collectors. We are doing a lot also in nature-based solutions. When we speak about the green strategy, we are trying to have green spaces, but also keeping in mind the importance of biodiversity, ecosystems, as we spoke this morning, and always with a concern on use less water and use less energy, and also use less human power. So you see also something very interesting that is a vineyard, an urban vineyard park in the city. This is something that you don't see in every city, and it's a very interesting thing. Also, we are concerned with the less use of water in the green spaces, and also have animal grazing instead of the current maintenance by man in some major parks. And this is also very interesting for children. Children are really completely amazing with this new situation, that's to see these kind of animals in the city. So the numbers spoke by themselves. In these 8-10 years, we have built in Lisbon something about 300 hectares of new green areas or renovated areas. That gives something about 1 hectare, 1 square meter or 2 square meters per inhabitant, which is really something very special. And keeping the biodiversity always in mind. Another component of acting in the city is to grow the so-called urban allotment gardens. And you have now something about 20 urban allotment gardens that are small places, local places, where people can grow their own plants, lettuces, vegetables. And this is a phenomena that is very important for urban cohesion. The old people that are retired, are really working and making some exercise as well, and communicating with others very close to their neighborhoods. So this is also seen as something important to be an inclusive city. Here are some examples of low-cost landscapes that we are using as very organized and well-supported allotment gardens. Of course, as I said before, the efficient use of water in these parks is something that we are dealing with. So we need to reduce also the water consumption to keep these parks. And the amount of water that we used in Lisboa, in parks and washing, it's really important. You see, 54% of the water in the city is spent in parks and gardens, and 21% in washing streets. So if you reduce this is clearly important, and there is a big effort ongoing within the municipality of Lisbon and the EPAL, the water company in Lisbon, to reduce the water consumption in the parks, and also to use reused water in these parks. And we have already, as numbers, in these 8 years, a reduction of 23% of water used for irrigation in the cities. And there are still more potential for increasing this value. But of course, water is an important issue, but energy as well. And there are also an amazing growing of bicycle path in the city, even if Lisboa is not a flat city, it's really a hilly city. But people are now more and more acquainted to use bikes, and to use bikes even to make a little bit more of exercise. So about 60 kilometers have been done in the last years, and is expected to be 19 in a very close future. And we are looking, of course, to the energy as well, and in transports. I have heard yesterday that in Barcelona, the percentage of CO2 emissions that comes from the urban transport is about 27%. And there is a wish to reduce it. In Lisbon as well, it's not very far from this. And we are very much improving bicycles, but also the electric cars. There are pilot examples of using electric cars, and the municipality of Lisbon, 1/3 of the fleet is already electric cars, and was reduced by 20% in the last years. And also the mayor of Lisbon is very proud to show up that in these 8 years or 10 years we have reduced 50% of CO2 emissions in the municipality of Lisbon. But of course, these are the soft intervention, the soft part of it. But we need, as well as in Paris, we need to have also hard engineering, because our lower part of Lisbon is very much attacked, is very much suffering from very frequent floods. There is tidal effects, and we need to deviate the water from very intense events from the lower part of the city. And for this, we have revisited the master drainage plan, and we are constructing 2 tunnels, one of 5.4 meters, and sorry, I don't know what I did. Yes, one tunnel with about 1 kilometer, and another one with 5.2 kilometers. And this is a huge investment, about 117 million euro that will be spent in the next 15-20 years. And of course, with this hard engineering investment, we have also to deal with a monitoring system, with warning, with real-time control, and with education and training of new experts to deal with these aspects. And to finalize, this was just a quick insight, I would like to invite you all to an event that will take place not in Lisbon, in my city, but in Porto next year, in September. Porto have won the bid of hosting the European Innovation Partnership on Water Conference. And so it will be on Porto in September. It's a very nice time because you have the vineyards of Douro in this time of the year. It's a wonderful time to be there. And immediately following this conference, there will be also the Mayors and Water Conference in the day after. That will be shared by the Mayor of Porto. So thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to see you in Lisbon in the near future. Thank you very much.